Good evening, Bob.
Good evening, Kent. How are you?
I'm okay.
You're hanging in there,
Yeah, it's been a pretty long day already. So
Been a long year so far. Be happy to start a new one.
yes. I called Jason this afternoon. He's the one that's going to be coming on behalf of Bighorn.
Oh, okay.
He's the general contractor that's been working on the apartments, but he's a different general contractor than what worked on the townhomes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any big issues with the townhomes. I mean, they look like they're pretty much in line with what we expected.
Right, right. How's Ruth doing?
Oh, she's doing fine. Sits in her chair and knits.
Oh, okay.
Watching the county, I guess there's a county COVID thing tonight or something. She
Oh,
keeps
yeah, that is.
online. So while I'm here, she's going to be doing that. Yeah, it's pretty quiet around town nowadays.
As far as vehicles and traffic and all that?
Yeah, just it's not busy at all.
Yeah. Yeah, without Christmas market, it's quieted down quite a bit here in December. So.
Yeah, I started watching your meeting from Tuesday night, the selectmen meeting, and got about halfway through. Interesting to watch the information on the parks. So I'll catch up with that. It looks like we have a new event coordinator, which sounds very good.
Yep. She'll be a good addition.
I think so. Yeah, plus she lives here, which is that's a big plus.
Yeah. Yeah, Tuesday's meeting lasted longer than I thought it was going to, but
I didn't make it to the end. Something else came up. I had to turn it off halfway through. I really like having the recorded meetings. It's a big help on knowing what's going on in town and keeping up with everything.
It does make it easier, yeah. I don't know when the Board of Selectmen's gonna even want to come back and meet in person.
Well, I like doing it this
They're
way.
kind of used to it at this point, and so are you guys. And
Yeah. Actually, I think this is a good way of doing it.
yeah, there's a couple little challenges with it, but yeah, it's nice to have it this way.
Well, plus it gets recorded and, it's easy to put up online and all that.
Right. Good evening, Brent. Good evening, Mark.
Howdy.
How's it going?
It's time.
Hi. All right. Let's go.
Are you in your garage, Mark, or?
No. Why does it look like I'm in my garage?
A little bit. I don't know. No.
Dark.
I'm in one corner of the
There you go.
living room. That's all they
There you
let me have. Now, if it was my garage, it'd be such a mess that you wouldn't be able to see me.
Wouldn't be able to see you. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I figured.
How's everybody with the barriers being down?
I haven't heard much of anything. So
It's good.
I like it with the barriers being down and some of the seating arrangements put on the sidewalk. I think it's nicer than it was before.
It feels, with cars on the street and stuff, it feels like a downtown again. And you actually
Yeah.
see people roaming around instead of just nobody.
Well, I think it helps to get the scaffolding down and out of the way too. It looked like a construction zone.
It was time. Hello, Joan.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good.
The house looks so nice, decorated up.
Oh, thanks. We're going for third this year.
There you go.
Well, you know, Kevin and Paul down the street, I'm not shooting for first, of course, but
No, that'd be tough.
we got an honorable mention before, so I think that's a lofty goal. Okay. So on top, is it almost ready? Okay, I got 6 o'clock. Shall we start? And Susan, would you take the roll, please?
Sure. Joan Eaton. You're here. Sean Platt. Cindy Neely. Here.
Cookies.
What is that?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Okay, maybe. There we go. All right, Cindy Neely. Nancy Hale. Mark Reynolds.
Here.
Bob Hamilton.
Here.
Frank Ganser.
Here.
Okay, can we get approval of the agenda? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Could we find out what has happened to our millings discussion or description? Just to get on the agenda.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And then I would move that we accept the agenda.
Okay, so my understanding is we're taking off the HGI, the towers issue, since we don't need to review that.
No, I mean, it's nice of them to ask.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought we were gonna take that off.
Yeah, I mean, but it's outside of our jurisdiction.
Okay, all right then. So do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All in
Mark.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, anybody on with us, audience business, that you're not on the agenda? Okay,
Don't have anyone else, Joan.
okay, so Thomas Rhodes,
Actually, it'll be Jeremy Burks is the applicant.
oh, okay. Jeremy?
Aye.
Hey. Okay, so we just kind of need a description here of your project.
Okay, so what we're planning on is a residential grid-tied solar photovoltaic system. It's a 6.745 kilowatt system, 19 panels, all going to be on the roof. We got about, looks like 9 panels on the south upper roof, 4 on the north facing upper roof, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on like the garage backside roof. It's grid tied with the XL, 30 amp 2-pole breaker backfeed to an inverter.
Jeremy, we are principally interested in what it all looks like. So
Okay.
do we have a picture of the house?
Yeah, I actually have an email I sent over. Let me see if I can.
Did anybody receive that? Jennifer said she was going to forward an email.
didn't
Yeah, I
see it.
sent one to her yesterday. Get my emails back up here.
There is an aerial picture on the very back of the application. That
Yeah,
just-
but
It's kind of small, but
it's tiny.
See if I have.
Jeremy, these are all black.
They will be. Let me look at the spec sheet on them.
Or dark colored?
Yeah, they're dark colored. the Q cells. Let me just pull up the plans here.
The spec says it's black frame.
Yeah, they're black. They're the REC Alpha AA. They're all black, completely black.
And they're flush mounted. I mean, they're mounted flat. They're not raised.
Yeah, they're flush mounted.
Okay, now if we could see a picture of the place.
Yes. Let me gotta find the email that I really fast. Here.
Cindy, it looks from the aerial picture that they're on the back side of the house, which faces toward Major Anderson.
Yeah, I see that, Mark, and I can see in the diagram that they're on the back and then they're on part of the front, but we should have some idea what house we're looking at.
I have it up on my screen now. I'm just trying to get it to share the screen.
Oh, good.
Ooh, there you go.
Aw.
You have children.
Let's see if I can find the. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Try this again. You see that?
Yeah, I do see that. So that's the roof section on the front where they would be.
Right. And then, this is the back right here. And they'll be up top here. And then
Where's
right
the
up-
panel
right
go?
here. On this mounted on this roof section up here.
Right. Where does your operational panel
Yeah,
go? On the
okay,
back?
Yeah, it'll be next to the by the utility meter.
And that's also on the back of the house.
Yep.
Yes, that
If you
is.
page that one up, you can
It'll
see
be
it
right over
there.
here.
Okay, right.
Yeah, right.
there.
Equipment right here, right to the left of that window,
Mhm.
and then to the right of the window, right next to the meter.
Okay. And those will
Yeah.
be in some form of cabinet or some form of something?
Yeah, there'll be an inverter. Let me show you the picture of that. The inverters, what they look like. They're about 2.5 feet by about 1.5 feet.
Okay. And they'll
And I
blend
don't-
into the house.
Right.
I know driving down Clear Creek, the rear roof line is, probably wouldn't be visible much at all. And
Okay.
the panels, I doubt would be visible at all.
Oh, good. Okay. What is the roof, Bob?
I think it's an asphalt roof.
All right,
It
I don't
is.
have any further questions.
Yeah, comp shingle.
For the pictures.
Anybody else?
I don't have anything.
There's some sightings
Okay.
in Book 3, Section 1, Chapter 7, page 86. Section E, which is on solar devices. Solar collection, E1 is solar collection devices should lay flush with the roof. It should not cause significant visibility. Item 2, yeah, it really doesn't apply. Item 3 doesn't apply. Those are if they're not attached. I guess we could go with 7A, which is minimize visual effects of utilities and service equipment, which it does.
Okay.
And then A6 is non-reflective finish. I think that ought to cover it.
Okay. Somebody want to give you a motion?
I would make a motion to accept the application with the items that are listed.
I'll second.
Is
Whatever.
there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Against? All right, great.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
I have one question. Is there any tax incentive now for solar? I've had a couple people ask me.
There is.
I'm sorry.
I was wondering if there was any tax incentives on solar. I've had a couple people ask.
Mark, I have been looking into it myself and there still is, yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Kind of depending on the size, you know, and what you spend on it, but
Okay.
it's pretty decent.
All righty.
So moving on. So we are going to discuss the T-Mobile replacing their towers. Is someone on for T-Mobile?
No, I don't, you know, we
Okay.
don't really need to discuss it. I think that we should acknowledge that they have asked us
Okay,
and that it's out of our jurisdiction. And we, you know, we recommend they are in compliance with what HGI requires.
okay, great. So to be asked, right? Okay. Excuse me. So Bighorn Crossing Apartments.
Yes. Hi there.
So I was not at the meeting, but apparently we've been discussing changes to the apartment buildings that we weren't apprised of or expecting.
Yeah.
So let me introduce myself. My name's Jason Farrow. I'm project manager for Bighorn Crossing. I came onto the project when it was already the first building was pretty much 3/4 of the way done. So I've been on since and taking over and working with Kent on stuff and Ryan Zabel and everybody. And so Kent has told me some of the things. I have drawings right here of the designs that were submitted back in 2017, October of 2017. The windows on the west and east side that were supposed to be triple pane or triple windows, they're single windows. We are having those changed out. I'm having the glass changed out so that those will be triple windows to match the plans. The
They're
drawings.
just going to put dividers in those long windows.
Yeah, we're taking out, having whole new glass panels made up that have grids in them.
Is that what they looked like before?
They
No,
were-
separate windows.
Yeah,
were
there were
three
three
separate
little
windows.
square windows before.
No, he's talking about the one long window.
Yeah,
And yes, they were three
There were three
separate
separate
windows.
windows, and that was the direction that we, that was the issue that we came up.
There you go.
in-
Thanks.
So you would see a fairly heavy
Next.
Right.
exit between, the separation between each of the three windows.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's that,
So I
that
don't know
window
if
right
it's,
there.
Yeah, I could picture them, but I thought they were separated more. So, okay.
But what's also missing on the buildings, Joan, is there are 5 other windows that are missing
Yeah.
on that side of the building.
Yeah. Okay, Jason, what about that?
I am not sure what happened there. They're pods, obviously they're pre-manufactured, and I don't know when those were taken out. And I don't know why they were taken out. I do know that a couple of those are right on a bathroom. Right, like if we were to put those exactly where they are on plans, they land right, a couple of them land on a wall, right mid-center of a wall, and a couple of them land in a bathroom. So that's the only reason I can see why they were taken out.
Okay, well, that's not,
They could be spandrel glass windows too.
they could be what?
Spandrel glass, so that it looks like a window, but it doesn't actually have vision glass.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Quite honestly, Jason, what was built was a design we saw very early on. And if we can go back to that, yeah, that one, thank you. That we saw early on, and this is what we approved after working with the architects. So it's a bit of a tough go from our vantage point, and I'm sure for you, from yours too.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
the big issue too is the lower porch roof is not there.
Right.
And you've got the huge bank of utilities right in the middle on that side.
right.
which-
So this picture we're looking at is the east side. So that's the lagoon side, and that roof is there.
Wait, roll down,
No.
roll the other way.
Oh, the lagoon side.
Roll it up a little bit more so we can see what it says under it.
It says west there.
It's the
west
west
elevation.
elevation.
Number
From
2,
our
west
vantage
elevation.
point, this is the west elevation.
Right, and in actuality, that's the east elevation. So
Why
I
is,
honestly don't know what happened there with the direction of the building. I don't know if it was for electrical or why it got turned around. I just thought there was a misprint on the plans
No.
myself.
No. And
No.
all 3 west side were slightly different. They were not 3 of the same thing on the west side. And that was intentional because that's the side that's viewed from the highway and from Alvarado Road. And
Right.
now this portico was definitely a discussion for the west side.
Yes.
As were the windows. And even if you roll down on these plans and look at the east side, we still have porticos, we still have extra windows, we still have a roof that comes beyond, that extends around that corner a bit. So even if the building was turned around, it wouldn't look the way it does now.
Yes.
plus there's no utilities on either side shown.
Yeah, there is on the west,
Right.
isn't there?
Yeah. Yes.
You roll back up
Yes.
to the west.
Is there?
No, they're not on the
No,
drawings.
They're not on the drawings.
No.
What is that?
There's no reason why those couldn't have been put in the pedestal, meters and all. They just slammed them on the building.
That's what I think,
Cheapest thing to do.
that's what my understanding was, that the utilities would be inside the building. I don't know if that was ever discussed or not, but
I kind of remember that myself.
certainly if they, if they had been shown on the exterior of the building where they are now, that would have been a no-go.
Okay.
And so the question
Um,
is, what can we do to adjust the look of what we've got out there at the moment?
So the front of the building, I'm all for putting something out front there. So what I drew up and thought that we could do is that if we could go back to the other elevation, not this one, but the other side, the one that actually shows the portico. Yeah, if we can go to that one a little further down. Okay, so where those lower windows are is where the electrical is. If we were to bring this around the side of the corner, it kind of ties into that side roof a little funny. So we thought if we could do a post right next to each of the windows going up and then do a roof across that to cover right over the electrical. Well, it would be just in from the window. If you take where that hand is and move it just to the other side of the window. Yeah. So we would put a post there. And then if you go all the way over to the other window, right to the inside, we'd put a post there. And then a roof going across the top. Yeah, across there. And we thought that if we left it open, the electrical would get wet. So if we could put roofing on it, we could asphalt it. It would protect the electrical, and it would give that architecture that you're looking for. And then also to block the front of those electrical meters, we do have wire caged rock walls that we're putting at the entry of the apartment buildings on both sides. So we thought we could put 3 of those in front of the transformer. So one would be directly in front of the transformer. I don't have it.
Are you talking about gabion baskets? Gabion baskets?
Is that what they're called? I'm sorry, I don't know the name of them. Where they're
Rocks
just
in a wire framework.
Yes, exactly. That are 5 feet tall, 6 feet wide, and 18 inches deep. So those are what we're going to use at the entry, and have signs on them. I believe those were submitted. I have those papers. I should have scanned this and put it in the computer. I apologize. But we thought if we put 3 of those one in front of the transformer directly, and then 2 feet in between each other one, that would block the view of seeing those from the street and from everywhere else. But it wouldn't take out, you'd still see the architecture of the pergola or purgatory or whatever you want to call what we would put over the electrical panels to hide it. Plus, we also will have bushes. We have a landscape plan that I have in my hand that was submitted October of 2017. We will be following this plan for planting plants and everything. So there will be some bushes on each side of those rock walls if we were to put those there. And that would help break up the look of the front and kind of hide those meters. What do you guys think?
How wide are the rock wall things?
They're 6 feet wide.
So that's going to be 18 feet of rock wall across there. Is it going to block the windows?
No.
It's out front where the transformer is.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Along the road.
So one will block the transformer exactly. And then the other 2 will just be on the side of it. And it won't block the side windows at all.
Yeah, because this drawing isn't really accurate for what's up there, because that upper window is not as long as the one that's out there. Do we have any picture of what this looks like right now?
I had an email from Bob, but I don't know if I can pull it up. Bob, do you have those pictures that you took?
I don't, let me look.
Okay, I don't feel like I'm capable of doing that at the moment. with that.
I'm not sure I can get out of here and not lose everybody and.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
look on my
I'll
phone.
find it, Bob. I think you sent it to us and I'll find it
Yeah.
here. May
Yeah.
take a second.
Let's talk briefly just about the wire baskets. I mean,
Sure.
I've never seen those used as a landscape wall.
No, they usually,
I've seen them for retaining walls and everything else. I just don't think they belonged in here.
Seems
Plus-
like it's gonna be really huge.
You know, they're not real attractive.
did we have a landscape plan submitted? I thought we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those
And do we have
definitely weren't,
landscape plan?
those definitely weren't on. You know that.
Yeah, no. It's page 8 on the plans that I have.
The landscape plan?
Yes,
Does it have the baskets on it?
it does not.
Oh, no, they weren't
No,
on.
it does not.
Chris, what are you trying to do? Chris, what are you trying to do? Oh, okay.
I just sent you the picture, Kent, to the town administrator.
Yeah, just found it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to send it to Kent too.
Because you see that wall is a lot more blank than the drawing we were looking at.
You know, what I would kind of like to see is if we could get a revised the drawing that, you know, got approved back in October of 17 to show what you're planning, you know, what you're planning to do now. It's hard to visualize
Okay.
Uh-huh.
what you're talking about.
We're going a long way here from the original plan that was approved for the west end of the building, which is now the east end of the building facing west. And, you know, that's to me, not what we were looking for at all.
Well, and the other thing is the three buildings, the face on the viewable from Argentine, the three buildings are different, and that was intentional. The first and the third were like mirror image, and then the middle building was, you know, different than those two.
Yeah.
And right now they're identical. The three buildings are identical, which, you know, was certainly not the intent and not what was approved. So, I mean, I know the buildings are up. There's not a whole lot you can do about it, but.
Well, I don't even like to say that because what was approved is not what we have. And that doesn't make me happy because, you know, it's not like we can't make you fix it or we don't expect it to be fixed. And this isn't, you know, if you needed to make changes or things needed to be done differently, you don't just decide to do it and then tell us, well, we had to change it. That's not how it works. That roof right there, the second floor roof, is supposed to be metal.
And it's supposed to go halfway over.
There's
Yes,
supposed to be
it's
an
supposed
eyebrow
to-
on it.
Yes, it's supposed to extend into under that other gable. And the missing windows make a huge difference to that facade.
Even
Well,
if
plus
even
the
if
fact
you
that
have to go
it's
back.
you know, it's a three wide window, or three individual windows versus one large window.
And the 5 missing ones.
Yeah.
Missing ones, yeah.
And even if those have to be put in as the fake ones that Brent mentioned, so it's not a window on the inside, that it looks like a window on the outside, that's what the building was supposed to look like.
Okay.
We spent a lot of time reviewing these plans, so it's not just us being frivolous. I mean, we spent a lot of time on this. And so we expected it to be what we all had agreed on at the end. I understand you weren't there at the beginning, but you're here now, so
Yeah,
still gotta
no,
be the
yeah,
same.
yeah. No, I'm here now and I'm not going anywhere. I want to make sure everything's done right, and I've done my best to work with Kent and keep Kent up to date on everything we're doing. I do apologize for people before me and what was going on. I am definitely here to help and do whatever I need to do to help you guys, you know, work this out. Whatever we need to do, we'll make it happen and make you guys happy. I didn't know about the electrical or any of that stuff, so I do apologize. I didn't know that it was supposed to go somewhere else. A bunch of stuff I didn't know, but no, moving forward, this is good because with the condos moving forward, I want to make sure that we're you know, making everything to all the drawings that were submitted. And these are all modulars, pre-manufactured. I don't know where the you know, the missing windows went and why, but I do know on the other townhomes, we will make those exact because we're framing them, stick framing. So whatever we need to do, I will do my best to work it out with you guys.
So,
Okay.
Jason, can we get a drawing of how this side could be altered? What kind of roofing could be put at, I suspect, at the top level of the that brick look, and
Sure.
how far right across there? What could be done to make the windows to alter the appearance of the windows, and maybe to add some windows that aren't even maybe truly windows.
Sure.
I also would say that the gabion baskets, the rocks in the mesh, are not in that landscape plan, so that we would like to see what they actually look like. I think putting something in front of that transformer makes some sense, but perhaps not a I don't know whether you call them gabion or gabions.
Box of rocks.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
no, I mean,
box of rocks.
Yeah. Actually, it's a net of rocks. And then, you know, because I think before building 2 or 3 gets into any state of being able to be occupied, we need to resolve this.
Yeah, I think now's the time to address all 3 buildings. One of the fundamental concerns we had is that we didn't want all 3 to look the same. So I mean, that's still a concern. What could you do to make the view from Argentine of the 3 buildings somewhat different?
Okay.
So under if we're going to put a roof back above the brick there, the way it's depicted on the plans that were approved, if we're having the roof across there, would it be better instead of two those big piles of rocks to just maybe have like a shed? Do those have to be open, or can they be kind of enclosed?
Windows.
Yeah, just a shed sort of thing under there, and then, you know, it could be board and batten or something that blends in better than just, I don't know.
You could screen them off with, like they did at the courthouse, around some of the utilities with metal screen or something.
Yeah, I
It
think
has to be accessible.
I think that would be, but that would be less obtrusive, I think, than all the rocks, quite frankly.
The rocks are out front. The rocks aren't screening them. The rocks are out in front of the transformer, the green thing.
Yeah. But we
Yeah.
don't want 3 of those out there, do we?
No.
You could probably screen that with some plantings.
You could do a planter or something to screen the transformer and then
Yeah.
some sort of a wall, or I don't know if you've got enough depth there to be able to, if you put a wall, you're gonna need to still have access, minimum access and clearance in front of the front of the electrical panels.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, then
Yeah.
you could use an enclosure thing with doors, and that would give you the access you need. So you'd have to
Yeah,
kind
we need
of,
four
what would work
4
there?
feet. Excel would want 4 feet with any sort of enclosure in front of it, clear for their meters. If you don't mind, you're asking for a rendering. I could do a rendering showing you the rock, the basket rock walls. I live in Grand Junction, and we use those a lot. We have the red rocks, and we're using those to landscape kind of the riprap area where we have the parking lot high, and then the parking lot goes down into the walkway, so we have drainage. We're using that red rock or orange rock around the building a lot to landscape. So if I could maybe give you guys a picture of what that looks like. The plans I was given is that we were gonna do one of those on each of the entrance going into the driveway, and it has Argentina on one side of the rock wall, and then there's a 2-foot returner rock wall that has the address that says 1920. And so on each side of the driveway entry, we were going to have one of those each with Argentina Street and then 1920 on the side wrapping in. Would you guys like to see a rendering of that?
Jason, you have a set of drawings then we have never seen, which is not a good plan.
Yeah, I don't know whose drawings you're working off of, but it's nothing legal.
Because we have a set of drawings that has a landscape plan and you know, quite frankly, also Red Rock is wonderful for Red Rock country. This isn't Red Rock country.
Right. It's orange, and it's some of the rock that we've pulled out of the dirt that's here, that we've screened. All the rock that we've used here so far is rock that we've screened out of actually the dirt that was brought from, I guess, one of the water mains that broke here. There was dirt that was brought over, and we gave dirt to, I don't know if it was the city or who it was, to fill in one of the water mains that broke. So it's actually screen rock. There's a picture of what it is. That's a big one. But yeah, the rocks are the same rocks that we have here, and we can mix tones of colors into them. It was just what I was given, and I understand there's a set of plans, and these are plans that Kent gave me a set of these that are actually the rendering plans that were submitted, and I have a small sheet of them. The plans I've been building off of are the structural plans and architectural drawn plans that aren't actually the colored ones. I was recently given these by Kent. I think before I got sick. I do apologize when. So what I've been working off of is a little different than what this is. So I'm
Well, we
I'm
have a
just-
set of plans that we approved is what you need to be working on.
Yes.
What we want to be done. And so, yeah, if you can send us a rendering to address that porch on the lower level, how that's
Okay.
going to look. And then the
Address the whole
screening.
side.
What?
Address the whole side of the building.
Yeah. So the windows,
Yes.
the roof across the lower section, the screening for the utilities. And what about that roof
Okay.
that should be metal? Are we gonna go there?
Well,
That
none of-
Would-
The second level roof?
Yes, well, none of the roofs that were supposed to be metal turned out metal.
Yeah. And
There
that
were
was,
should be.
a couple on the front too.
that was a point too, that it broke up the sameness of everything. So on the approved set of plans, excuse me, there are metal roofs on different aspects of the building there.
And also you have
Okay.
to address the lighting too. The lighting's terrible. It's
Oh,
all-
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
There is a dark
that-
sky
that-
ordinance.
Yes. So that's being addressed. What we're doing is painting the lights because I know those lights that are there are bright. Those are the lights that are spec'd out in the plans. I am going to paint the inside edge of the whole light so that the light only broadcasts straight down. And I've worked really hard on the street lights for the parking lot. And have searched and found low lights that are 80-watt lights that I can change the color to, and they're for your dark sky ordinance. And we did, me and Kent were out there one night or a couple nights looking at how dark it is and how bright the one light is at the apartment building next door. So we will have 4 parking lot lights in that parking lot. They're 80-watt lights that aren't that bright and that are 3,000 kV. And the lights that are in the breezeway, those will be changed in the next week. And so we can look at those. Those are going to be dimmed down a lot. We'll be taking a lot of light out of them.
You have
That will
dumpster
be helpful.
enclosures too.
But I think we do need to see a drawing of what you intend to do on those west elevations.
On all
And-
three.
All three.
All
Would
three.
you
All
guys,
three.
would you like to see that in a metal roof on that? If I drew the rendering and put a metal roof on that coming out on that section of the overhang that's going over the electrical?
Wasn't that what it was supposed to be?
Well,
Is-
it's in the drawing, it's shown as being just open, having no roof, just
Okay, but see,
being-
we're talking about what's facing west now
Yeah,
is
what was
not the
originally
west
labeled
side.
west is what we expected to see on the west side. The fact that someone flipped the building around really,
Yeah, we didn't want this. We wanted what was shown to us on the west side. So whatever that is, that's not what we want. We want what's supposed to be on this one. Yeah.
yeah, see, the 2 lower roofs were metal.
And I don't see an open roof on any ends of the building.
No,
No, I don't know what that was.
So I don't know what that is
Well-
that you're talking about.
go down to the east elevation.
east elevation, there's like a, yeah,
Trellis.
But in our drawings, we don't see that. It has a roof on it.
Right there, the orange.
Yeah, I see
The-
what you're
the
showing,
pergola.
but our plans don't show an open roof like that.
This
Yeah.
is what was presented and approved at the October 27th or 26th, 2017 meeting. That's what I have.
Was that the final approval on it?
That was the final approval. I went to the last approval.
Okay, because I do recall, and I couldn't swear about this specifically, that occasionally when we ask about something on a drawing, the guy that we were working with would say, oh, that was just something from his program that he didn't take off or something, you know, so
Oh,
um,
okay.
I don't recall us saying we don't want that, but we don't want that.
Because that looks like the roof was left off of Revit in that case, because all the wood's there, but the roof's.
Yeah, it'll have to have a roof on it. So we want it to look like the one on the west elevation drawing.
Okay, so draw it in as a metal roof. Okay.
Yes.
No problem.
Okay.
I can
anybody
get that
got-
drawn in.
Anybody got anything else in particular that needs to be rendered for us?
Yeah, I think we need to have a really good understanding about those gabion baskets because at some level you can make it work depending on size of rock, depending on color, what have you. But
Well, I think they'll need landscaping around them too. You don't want just a big pile of rocks sitting there. So if they're blended
Oh,
in
no.
with the landscape,
Well, I would just go ahead and modify, go ahead and mark up the landscape plan to show what you're planning to do that's different than what was approved.
Okay.
I think that'd be the easiest way to communicate it. Yeah, I go ahead and
Okay.
show the transformer on the landscaping plan because it wasn't there originally. And then how are you going to landscape around that or screen it? And then what you can do to screen the meters.
And for your
Okay.
signs too, because that isn't part of the landscaping plan either at the entries.
Yeah, the entry signs we didn't see.
Okay. I can get that drawn up and submit it to you. Was there any drawings that showed any entry signs and addresses on
We don't
any
have
of
a
the
sign
plans that you
plan
guys?
for the apartments at all.
There was actually a little doubt about the road at some point that they weren't quite sure about things. So that was not firmed up yet
Okay.
for the entry. Okay.
And when what kind of timeline do we have on this?
Are you asking me?
On
No, I'm asking Kent, I'm asking
Okay.
Jason.
timeline as for me to get it to you, or the
Yeah,
rendering,
and-
or
Yeah, and there's going to be a timing issue because your next meeting
Is the
you're
20
not going to have on the 24th.
No.
And it would end up to be the second week of January unless there's some meeting in between that we would hold.
Correct.
So, or change the date of the next meeting to sometime which would be more appropriate.
We could do that if we needed to. If this is that timely of an issue, we could, make the next meeting on a different day. So
Well, and then the issue that Jason has stated is, and I told him that obviously the CO for the second building, they're trying to get to that point. And they're working with the people that they're going to be occupying that apartment building and wanted to have it January 1st, but that's maybe difficult. So, but even whatever time, whether it's January 1st, middle of January, or February 1st, or sometime later, depending on when this can get approved, having these drawings so we can at least know what's the plan forward to try to correct things, or what are additional things that may be requested from the DRC that are not addressed on any renderings that are brought forward. I think it would behoove to have this. Need to do the best you can, Jason, or with whoever you work with, to get these drawn up and try to absolutely address all these concerns that the DRC has raised. But there may be other things that come up after those renderings are produced as well. So the timing, I think, is such that it would be good to have this as soon as it's feasible.
sure. I will jump on it immediately and try to get renderings next week. I think I will do a couple renderings shown a couple of different ways, because I really would like to get the landscaping and rock and stuff in the front going, as much as you guys want the job looking good. I want it looking good. I've located lots of rock and lots of landscape materials and would like to get that going. So yeah, I'd like to get this pushed as quick as possible as well. So I can work on this right away. Tomorrow I will call and get working on the renderings. And I could probably have them emailed to all you guys first next week, or I'll send you, Kent, and you can send them out.
Well, take a little bit of time. Don't just rush it. You've got to make sure regarding what the DRC has said. And then you might want to let me know as far as timing, when those could actually be produced. And then I can communicate with the DRC, or have Jennifer communicate with the DRC as far as what's the timing after we receive the renderings. So.
And
Okay.
Actually,
I-
it's not so pertinent as to when we get them, as to when we plan to review them, because if we had a special meeting for this, do we still have to give the public notice on it?
Yeah, but
If
that's
this
only,
was 10
you
days?
know,
No.
yeah, I mean,
yeah, we can do, but one of the things is that given the way the calendar falls, it's 5 weeks till our next meeting.
yeah,
Well, what
that's a
I'm,
long time.
yeah, what I,
That's a
what I
long,
was thinking
that's
is,
why I asked about the timeline, because that is, it just so happens that the 31st of December is a Thursday. So,
Yeah.
so we have a long.
Okay.
But if we're gonna make it a special meeting, we could have it any day of the week. And
Yeah.
it's just a matter of the notice ahead of time.
and I
because
think, I think we should make an effort if you feel like you get your drawings done, that we could schedule a special meeting just for this.
Uh-huh.
And, we can look and see what you've got and get that done before the holidays then. See, we won't have the meeting on the 24th, but we would still have like either the 18th or the 21st, I think gives us enough posting time if we scheduled that tonight so that they could post it tomorrow. Do you know what I mean, Kim? Then-
Yeah,
But let's see when we get the drawings, because we also could potentially do something between Christmas and New Year, because I doubt anybody's traveling.
Nope, I'll be here.
I
Okay.
think that,
Yeah.
think most of us will be here.
We can all get in front of a computer wherever we are, right?
We all can get in front of a computer. So let's get those drawings but I just think we need to be willing to do a special meeting, because it's an
Yeah.
inordinately long time.
Yeah, okay.
well, and I think it's,
Okay.
I think it's dependent on when Jason can get those drawings completed.
That's right.
Is more regarding the timing right now. And then I'll check with you guys what day would work best and what time of day.
Okay, sounds good. So Jason, do you have a list of all the things that we've inquired about or want to know, have an answer to? I know
Yes.
you were
So
taking notes.
yeah, I've been taking notes.
Okay.
So the one thing I do have a question on is on the windows that are supposed to be triple windows. I've already jumped on the ball and ordered new glass for all those that have grids in them. Am I okay to go on that and get those done?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I
Does
just
it-
wanted to
Do you
make
have a
sure
picture
we're
of them,
clear
Jason?
on that.
Do you have a
Of
picture of those
what they
windows?
look like?
Yeah.
What they will look like?
No, they'll just be true divided exactly, 2 grids in the window, that
So
will
they'll look like the
just
drawing
like
that was
the two
approved?
No,
Yes.
Outside
yes.
grid, inside
Actually-
grid.
Well,
it's going to be one piece of glass with the thermopane glass with the divider in between the two panes? Is that what you're
correct,
talking?
yeah.
So
Yeah,
from
and
the
on my
outside,
drawing-
it's gonna look the same.
From the
Yeah.
outside, it doesn't look like three
It's not
windows.
like- It's not going to look like 3 windows. I
No.
mean, you'll still see the reflection, and it'll be, one big 1 foot by 3
Oh,
foot.
well, they'll be bronze thick grids. They'll be probably 1.5 inch grids in the middle. So they'll be thick. You'll see them from the outside. The glass, you'll definitely see the grids. They're nice and thick. I had them do really dark bronze to match the windows and make them really wide.
The windows are white though.
Right. So to match it, I was gonna make them bronze. And so pending this meeting, that's what I was going to do. Ask you guys if that's what I can do.
You were gonna make the windows
Make the
bronze?
whole window frame bronze?
No. So the way these windows are like all the modular windows, there's just a little piece of trim on the outside, pop that out. Then there's 2-sided tape that holds in the whole window pane. And so that gets pulled out. The new window pane that goes in has the grids inside of it. and was gonna make those a dark color to match, or a white color. Which would you guys prefer?
Well, the window frame is white, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I
it
think it
needs,
should be
it needs
white.
to match the window frame there and look like part of the,
Okay.
like separate frames.
Yes, but
Okay.
they're in between the glass. They're not on the outside of the glass.
Well,
Yeah,
it's not a true simulated divided light. I don't know if that's an option.
those window frames are
Not
metal.
without. They're all they're vinyl.
Okay,
We would to replace the whole window, we would have to replace a lot.
well, I think the white would do a lot more towards making it a divided look, because the dark won't make it look like part of the window.
Well, yeah, you're right. And seeing the picture now versus the rendering, my head was wrapped around this rendering. So yes, you're completely right. White is the way to go.
Is
So-
it possible they could epoxy a vinyl mullion on the outside of the glass?
Definitely, we could definitely do that.
Then it
But
would
that
look
would
more,
make all the difference in the
That would,
world.
that would look like a separate window.
yes.
So instead of actually replacing the windows, epoxy the dividers on the outside? Was that what you were
I
saying,
think we
Sean?
could definitely do that.
You may be able to do that, yes. I'd have to visually see it, but I think that might be a possibility.
Because that would break the light, you know, shining, the reflection shining on. You can see it in that picture. You can see reflection right across the window. So the dividers on the outside would break it up to make it look like 3 windows.
And then you may not have
Yeah,
to replace
I
the
have
glass.
Yeah, I have 1.5" vinyl. I could put some up there and
See what it looks
Uh,
like.
send a picture in
Okay.
right away of one.
Yeah,
You'd like
See
that.
what it looks
Okay.
like.
That
Yeah,
might be a better solution.
Save them,
I
save a
like
little
it.
money.
I like
Okay.
it. I love it. Thank you guys. Okay,
Sure.
well then, are we still okay with the rendering of us doing the 2 posts inside of the window and bringing the roof out and it not wrapping around the side?
We need to see it. It might
Yeah.
need to go the length of the
Okay.
building rather than inside those 2 windows.
yeah, I'm thinking the
You want
length
to
of the
run the
building
length of the
too.
building?
Yeah, it
Probably
needs to
the
look
wrap.
as much like the West Side drawing that was approved as possible. I know you can't go around that corner apparently, but I think it should extend to the ends of the building.
So if you look on the right there, there's this FDC, and above it is the FDC alarm. So that's the fire department connection. And they dictate where that goes.
Yeah.
So running the roof all the way to, if you go take that arrow and run it up above, that's the alarm. So I can't run into that at all. I have to stay clear of that.
Well,
So I would
So on
not
the
be able
original
to run it
drawings-
to the side.
on the original
That
drawings on the
alarm
west
could be
side-
moved though. That's just wired. So that could be moved. Am I correct in saying that?
around the corner.
I'd have to give it the
No,
fire
not around the
department.
corner. It could go up.
Go up higher, yeah.
Oh,
It could go up
Just move it
higher.
up a little. Just get it above your roof.
It's going to look strange to have that porch in between those windows. It's going to have to be like the
Okay.
drawing, or it should be.
Well, the rock stops, the rock goes up too high to be able to continue the porch on the side around to the front.
On the south side. Yes,
Well, to continue the roof line around, I mean, that's what the intent was. You continue it around the corner and then across the front.
it's in the wrong place, I think, Bob.
But I mean, I don't know how big a deal it is to take 3 or 4 courses of the rock off and then put that roof in, put the ledger in for the roof.
Yeah. I see your
You'd have.
And
yeah,
then
you'd
it
have
would,
to see whether that's feasible, and if you put a metal roof up, what do you need underneath it? Is it suitable to just have the metal on a structural framing and no return? I don't know if you had planned for a return under that or not.
yeah, we were going to soften it in if, you know, it would need to be softened in. I don't think we would want to leave it open. Because I understand how this is all flipped around, and I want to look at my plans that, my stamp plans I have, and see what they dictate, what they show. I have them right here. Do you mind if I turn a page real quick and look?
No, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
So did all three of these buildings get flipped around from east to west?
The three buildings are identical.
Yeah,
But what we look now from the west is the east end, right?
I believe so.
So one of them was supposed to be different.
I don't know.
Yeah, the two ends were mirror images and the center one was completely different.
Yep.
And it was that the west end, what we have on the east side now?
Both west and east were completely different on the center one.
Okay.
And they do have open roofs on the east elevations.
But they don't now because they flipped it, right?
Are you guys able to see my plan when I show you?
You garbled there, Jason. Can you hear us?
Are you able to see my plan when I
We can't,
my face come up when I talk?
Gabe, we can't hear you clearly.
You can't see me clearly.
It's got a weird reverb on it.
We can't hear you clearly. We can see you clearly. We can't hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm going to point the computer at the plans I have of the elevation. You guys see those?
Yeah.
So they're saying that's the west end. And that's the east end.
Yeah, see, neither of those plans look like what we have.
No, they're not the same plan as this thing.
Neither. The stamp plans reviewed by everybody through my stamp plan.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what came through Safe Build. Yeah.
They're stamped by the state, by Safe Build, by somewhere else. I can't read. But those are the plans I built off of. I would like to have a full set of these plans. I see that they say page 23.
Hey, Jason,
we
we
can't
really can't
understand you at all.
hear you. Can you hear us?
Really?
Yeah, you're
You're
like something changed, and I don't know if you need to re-sign in or what's going on with your sound there.
Let me see how to re-sign in. I apologize.
Kent, you sent Jason the set we have from the 26th October. I'm sure you did.
Yes. That's what I gave him. Was the October 26th, 2017.
Right.
What was in the packet for the DRC at that meeting. And there wasn't really anything said in the minutes of that meeting that changed those plans, or at least what I could see.
So basically,
Have
they
Jason
just
ever
changed
seen these?
the working drawings. I mean, they just did what they wanted to do. and then
Yeah.
stamped them. Because they don't even match ours. So something's not right.
No, I think, Mark, they actually picked up a previous set and just ran with it. Because I think what we're looking at is the set we had before we made all the changes.
Mhm. Could be.
Remember when I got into this great discussions about white?
Oh, yeah.
I remember
And
that.
all the windows. We
Yeah.
talked about the windows and
And I think that was that set of plans that had already gone to the manufacturer and they were already underway.
but still, I mean, they flipped the buildings around. Nobody said
Mhm.
anything about flipping the buildings around.
Well, and something that happened in the intervening years is they switched manufacturers because this is a different manufactured home company than they were working with originally.
Yeah.
I remember that in a
Yeah.
conversation once upon a time, so.
I do remember that also.
How you doing, Jason? We got nothing. Can you talk?
And now we don't hear you at
We
all.
don't hear you. Can you sign off and re-sign in?
But Bob, while he's doing that, in your review of the townhouses, things look better, yes?
Yeah, the townhouses are pretty much, in line with what we approved. There's a few minor variations in things like the utilities are grouped together and they're stuck out on the lagoon side. And I mean, personally, I don't have a big problem with that. They probably just need some landscaping around them. I mean, there were a couple places where it looked like maybe some windows got changed, but by and large, they're in line with the plans that we approved.
Well, it might help Jason to know that so that he's not.
Okay. Oh, connecting to audio. All right. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Sorry about that.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Well, happens.
Okay, so the drawings I have were the ones that Kent brought out to me one night. I have a few pages, and these are the only ones that I have. Everything else I have is the structurals and architecturals that we've been building off of.
So I think the goal, Jason, is for you to get as close as you can to what the drawings that say west elevation on that set that Kent gave you, because that's the set we approved, to get as close to that as you can. And so I think that's in a way where we leave it at the moment. But with the promise that when we receive your drawings, we will try to get together at it as soon as we can, so we can keep this going.
Yeah, Ken,
Is that reasonable?
Yes.
we should be able to send him a PDF of the whole set of documents from the 26th of October of 2017.
Yeah, I'll send everything I have electronically to you, Jason. So,
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
But while you were
And I
off,
will.
Bob has also done a review of the townhouses, and so you might like to hear his review.
I can summarize. I mean, the townhouses look pretty good in terms of compliance with what we approved on the drawings. There's a few minor things, a couple windows on the end of near a garage. There's an extra window and one disappeared, but I mean, those to me are minor. It doesn't change the look of the townhouses at all. The other thing of note that I expect will be dealt with when the landscaping is done is that the bottom, we've got windows stacked, like two windows over two windows. So you have like a column of windows. There's supposed to be a planter anchoring those windows to the ground, so it kind of sets off that tower, and those are not there. I have no problem. I can send, or Kent can send a copy of the notes that I made with the photographs, if that's of any value to you.
Yeah,
He actually did send us.
I think the landscaping could solve pretty much all of the issues with the townhomes that are currently in place down there.
Okay.
So you're not going to go through the same thing with the townhomes?
Well, we don't know.
They're already there.
No, but
Lots of boxes arrive.
knows.
Well, the townhomes, since we're not doing modulars, they're being redrawn by 359 and they're 90% complete right now. And then they're being submitted to you guys for review. So they'll be the actual building drawings. So you can look at them and compare them to the renderings that you've had from other stuff. I don't know how these plans didn't make it to you guys and they got passed. I'm not real sure. They have a date of 2019 on them. Was there some other plans that were around?
We never get permit drawings. We only get rendering.
Okay.
We did not get the permit drawings.
Yeah.
Okay. So
It
I'm
means,
going to be sending you permit drawings.
yes.
But
So we're on the
permit
same
drawings would be
page.
helpful to have.
Okay.
Joan, can I
Yes.
say one thing?
Yes.
I would have one caveat regarding all the landscaping is we don't have the water because of the county, the agreement we did with the county regarding there's really no outside watering at these townhomes and also at the apartments. So they all have to be, now I'm forgetting the term.
Xeriscaped.
Yeah, and for the environment here,
Yeah.
there can't be any additional watering.
Okay.
And because of the water rights issue.
Okay.
So I know you guys refer to that landscape plan, but there has to be a caveat to that regarding, doesn't matter if you plant them and then they die. You got to have stuff that survives. So, and that's because of the water rights issue. That gets into a different bailiwick for me. So
we're talking about indigenous planting that survives at this altitude, and we've
Right.
discussed it
With
before.
no water.
The wind down there is going to be quite fierce, and so
right.
yeah, stuff that can live around here, and that's not hard to figure out.
Right.
Maybe the landscape plan needs to be revisited then.
Yeah, we can.
I mean, there's a lot of trees and stuff, and I doubt that you're gonna be able to plant trees and not
Beautiful.
water them and expect them to remain alive for more than a few months, especially with, the drought situation we've been in.
Yeah.
Well,
Notice that they, on the townhomes, they did do some planting. It looks like there was some attempt at grass there. I think there's a few live branches on one of the pine trees and everything else is dead.
yeah.
Okay.
So maybe we need to look at some other alternatives other than what's on the landscape plan. Because, I mean, if you don't do anything down there, that's going to be a dust bowl. It already is a dust bowl.
Right.
So I think that's a real issue.
And that difficulty came up way after these plans were approved and the landscape plan was approved by DRC. I mean, the water rights issue was
Okay.
18 and 19.
Then let's
So-
bring the
That's something
landscape
that
plan
needs to be on
back.
the list. That gets revisited and come up with some kind of it's probably going to mean more hardscape then.
Yep, more hardscape.
Okay. Do we need that for this next meeting, or is that a little further down the road? It doesn't seem to be as pertinent at the moment to us, but we'll have to review that landscape plan then
I think- Jason was talking about, moving forward with some of the hardscape elements for around the townhomes, anyway, around the apartments.
Yeah.
Just, look at that and knowing that we have an issue with landscaping, it will have to get resolved.
Okay,
All right, I think,
Okay.
so we'll wait to hear from you and then we'll get together and see what we got.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Jason.
Well, I have one other question. As Kent mentioned, we have tenants. We're trying to close on building 2 on the 1st of January. Will we still be able to get all that worked out and get closing on that building?
I don't know,
Well, we have to see what you're gonna do. I don't know that it has to all be finished before that, but we've got to have an agreement and an approval on what you are gonna do to make the changes.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Great.
Uh-huh.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So next up is 2021 Saving Places.
Yeah, we have a notice that the Saving Places, I have a different question real quick about Bighorn. Apparently they're trying to sell the land across the street from the apartments. And is that, when they came to the town and got essentially I don't think they ever did a PUD, but they essentially put out a whole plan.
Right.
And that area showed as excess parking.
Public parking for the lake.
Well, and the apartment houses are likely to need extra parking too because of the number of spaces. Are they permitted to just sell off any piece of this that they want?
Well, we can't prevent, they can sell the property. Now, what it's used for is it still has to go through what it's used for. And I've had some discussions with Martin regarding what it can be used for. But they can sell the property. You can't prevent somebody from not selling property they own unless there's something else we can do.
But the town agreed on the whole picture.
Right.
The whole picture. So,
Right.
So I mean, if they suddenly decided they were going to sell off lots in the center there,
They would have to go through, I mean, they could sell the land. Now, whether they could actually do anything with it different, it's like any other piece of parcel. You'd have to go through a whole application process and all that type of stuff, obviously, to get an approval for doing what they would want to do.
how was this approved? Was it a planned development? What was it? Or did it just stay within its zoning?
It is, there was a certain percentage, this is where I get confused and I have to go talk with Martin again regarding it. There's a certain percentage that is commercial within the overall site plan. There's so much that's residential. And the parcel across the street is part of that commercial component of it. Now, I do know there's parking involved with it as well. But that's where I get confused regarding, and I'm not going to say because I am not 100% certain.
Okay.
I
just,
We kind of base some of our decisions on them using that as a parking area. Because that's the way they sold it to us.
Okay. I would disagree as far as it being parking for the apartments, because as busy as that Argentine, and some people call it Alvarado, but it's Argentine Street. I can't see myself parking across the street and trying to cross that Argentine Street on a regular basis. I could maybe once in a great while, but
I may be wrong, but didn't they need that to get the space count?
No.
For the required parking? No? Okay.
No, they have the space count because it's only a place and a half for each unit, which is too little parking for the units. The units are gonna need basically 2 spaces. And that's the fault of what our regulations say. They say you only need a space and a half per apartment house or per apartment.
And that lot is also further north away from the apartments.
Yes.
It's
slightly.
not right across the street from the apartments.
Well, it's slightly, there are the apartments, there's that lot.
Yeah.
And
At one point, I thought there was some discussion about that triangular piece of land across the road there was potentially going to be like for a 7-Eleven or a little retail store of some sort. That was a possible use for that.
But part of what we were trying to avoid is that we end up with a McDonald's across the street from that apartment.
Yeah.
And that's what my question is. What can that land be used for?
Fire hall. A new fire station.
Well, there's town land between that parcel and as you go south.
As you go south, as you go down this way.
That's all town land, and that's where the helipad is at right now for the emergency services. Their land basically starts where that sign is for Bighorn Crossing.
Yeah.
If you go out and look at it right now. And when I'm physically out there, it looks farther to me than what it shows on your map, Cindy. So.
Yeah, because this thing is actually a photograph and then they drew into the photograph.
Sure.
Yeah, where they were. So I don't know. I mean, because obviously that's approximate to it.
Sure.
Anyway, I think that there is some concern over what that ultimately could become. And I don't know, how it fits zoning wise, but I thought I'd just mention that. So, but it's time to move on.
Do we have any kind of zoning restrictions on chain things like that?
Well,
There's all kinds of regulations, yes.
The
I was gonna say, maybe we need a new one.
The DRC's is very straightforward. We will not do a franchise design.
Yeah.
Right, as far as the facade.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Saving places, we have a little thing here. All I got actually was about the scholarship application, but I see that the dates are February 10th through the 12th. And looks like it's going to be online, so that makes it easier.
But there's also a bulk registration discounted range available from 5 members from the same CLG, and 5 registrations are for $475. So that's a cheap registration rate.
Okay.
And if we just put in for our 5 registrations, if you think we can afford to, our $475 for our unbudgeted commission, I'm sorry, but that always strikes me as though we ought to have some sort of a little budget. If we can do that before January 1, that means that any one of us could basically choose to zoom into whatever one you wanted to do or didn't want to do.
Cool. Please, can we have $475?
We could figure it out, yes. I'm just trying to figure out what the amount was in previous years, so.
We have no budget.
Well, no,
we get like
we've actually paid for the Saving Places Conference.
I know, sometimes.
And we've spent and what Jennifer told me was 2 males and 1 female, so I think there was 3 registrations previously.
Yeah.
But with the virtual, I think it's cheaper, but I'm just trying to find out what's the amount from previous.
No, I think that the 3 registrations, when we have to pay for them, because sometimes you're registering, well, me, and I actually get to make a freebie of it. but I'm not planning on doing anything for them this year.
Okay.
But yes, we'll figure out a way.
So please, could we have the 5 registrations before January?
If not, I will let you know. If Mary, it's like at home, you go ask the wife and figure it out.
So we all have to start calling and emailing Mary. At least twice a day.
Yeah.
Should borrow it from promotions.
Okay. So yeah, that'd actually be pretty cool. And then we have minutes. Oh,
Well,
the millings.
The millings, did we get our milling statements into a pre-approved list yet?
No, because we've had some disruption at town hall here. We've been,
A little bit, yeah, okay, fine.
yeah,
But
I've
have
been
them-
away for a couple weeks. We have them. We'll get them in the list.
All right, so if we could see the pre-approved list, I think it's time for this commission probably to read it again.
Review that.
Yeah. And the Bob's language was the last language, I think, that went in the millings.
Can I put that on the brochure? Bob's language?
Yeah, Bob's.
As Bob
Bob's
specifies.
He was being kind in his language that day.
Okay. So we do, let's see, there's no conceptuals, obviously. Anybody? No? Okay, and we got minutes from November the 12th.
I looked them over. They look good to me.
Under Bighorn Crossing, Susan, I think we should indicate that we were talking about the apartment houses. So when it says we discussed several distances between approved plans and actual structures, actual apartment house structures, because we weren't talking about the whole place.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Would it be
I hear a motion.
appropriate if we add maybe at the next meeting or sometime down the line, we have some discussion about tying DRC approval into the final approval of drawings for construction on major projects? I mean, I think this is a classic example of what happened here is they got approved, they submitted construction drawings for approval through the town and Safe Build. And they got approved to build something that doesn't meet the DRC requirements that were agreed to. And we, it's really a shame to not know about that until the building is actually sitting there and staring us in the face. We certainly, on the townhomes, we ought to go ahead and make sure we see the construction drawings so that we can check off the things we're interested in.
It sounds like they're going to have to bring.
As a code, town code change, but if it does, I think it would be prudent to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. And there is actually a DRC stamp that's supposed to be on the approved set of plans.
But we have long ago stopped looking at the construction plans, Joan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And I really don't think that Safe Built looks at the DRC requirements.
No, I'm quite sure they don't.
So nobody, I mean, once they get a COA, it goes in the drawer and, they go get their construction plans because that's really what they need to move forward. And, unless.
Well, and I really think the major hiccup here was the lapse between and the different people that got involved between 2017 and now.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
but it's not uncommon with Safe Built that there's not much consideration of DRCs.
Well, they've said we can add something because this came up a few months ago. I did ask on the computer program itself, we can add an additional thing you have to check off. And I don't know if we got that accomplished or not. So to say that the DRC, one more check off before the plans are approved, plans are finalized. So
I think
in the computer program. So I got to check on that.
Okay, anybody got anything else?
That's enough.
I agree. That's enough. That's enough.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah, yeah.
go home.
No, approve the minutes, please.
Oh,
Oh,
did we not do that? Oh,
No.
okay, can I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes
As amended.
as amended.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I wasn't there, so I'm not gonna vote. Oh, and anybody needs to recuse themselves if they, sorry for that. Okay, that's it. Let's go home.
All right, bye, guys.
Good night.
Night.